Today's video is sponsored by our friends at PGX Comics Grading Service, the Gen X choice to get your comics graded and encased, shipping nationwide. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Codename New to GIJoe1, the Gen X for Gen X YouTube channel. I'm your presenter, GIJoe1. Well, to all my regulars, guess what? We are finally back in the retro room. That's right. For the past half year, we've been filming on all other different locations. This was due to a rocket launch that had the sonic boom knocked a shelf off the wall, and it had all these iconic 1982, 1983 G.I. Joe action figures and vehicles, and to my surprise, there were really no casualties except for Steeler. Steeler's legs broke. But other than that, I dodged a big bullet because as G.I. Joe fans know, those 82, 83, those plastics, they're very brittle. So to me, to walk away with one damaged Steeler is pretty good. Anyway, so this is going to be our June 2024 graded comic book unboxing episode. And as always, thanks to our sponsor, PGX Grading Services, the grading service preferred by all Gen Xers, as they love to grade all of those iconic books that we love, and it's the only grading service that isn't a corporation, doesn't have board members, executives, and fiscal board meetings and all that other bullshit. It is a fan, privately owned family company, which is why I left CGC and have been supporting PGX. Really, I've been doing this since 2014, and I've been with PGX for the last I would like to say about 6 years, and there is no drop off despite all these, you know, what is it, Comic Bride and whatever, and that the guy with the long hair that looks like Sideshow Bob. All these guys that trash PGX, they have no right to. The only reason why they're trashing is because they flip comic books. They don't have normal jobs. They don't have degrees. They flip comic books for a living. So all they want to do is make money, and which is, I've always said, if you're banking your retirement on action figures, comic books, baseball cards, that's not a very good investment strategy. But with all that aside, I'm going to say this, and this is crazy. Based on the books we're going to look at in this unboxing episode, this is probably book for book. I mean, these are high dollar. I mean, these are some of the most expensive comic books available. This is going to be the greatest comic book unboxing episode by anyone ever. I'm going to declare that right now. But it has a twist, and we'll see why. Anyway, let's dive into the action. Alrighty, so the first book we're going to take a look at is, if my regulars know, we've been covering the G.I. Joe comic series since 2014 with the IDW run. Of course, obviously, lately with the Skybound Image version, I haven't really done much of that. But with all that said, that's why this was very important. I'm talking about the first G.I. Joe issue number 1, Larry Hama's director's cover. Now, with all the attention given to the Energon universe, it's kind of ironic that once again, Larry Hama is not getting the attention he so rightfully deserves as being one of the Mount Rushmore figures on the comic scene. And case in point, so there were a lot of things that Larry Hama has said during cons or in interviews that he wished would have made it into issue 1. And I'm talking about, of course, G.I. Joe issue number 1, which has been trending in all of these like Comic Tom's top 10, Key Collectors top 10, has made that list several times. And a lot of these new comic kiddos, I would like to say younger than 35, have been picking this up as an investment, while a lot of us Gen Xers are holding on to this or trying to get it back. With G.I. Joe's re-emergence since 2018 with the Hasbro classified line, and now, you know, coming over to Image, there's been a renewed interest in G.I. Joe that was, I mean, there was only like 5 YouTubers and like maybe 4 Facebook pages. Now all of a sudden there's like a shitload and everybody's a fucking expert. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been recapping comics, is because everyone thinks they know everything. So, you know, whatever. But the point is this, is that there was every writer goes through this. There's stuff, director's cut, whatever. There's stuff that gets left on the chopping block. So Skybound, I mean, it's funny that IDW never did this, because they basically let Larry do whatever the hell he wanted. Image, Skybound's a little bit more, from what I understanding, a little bit, you know, not as bad as Marvel Hasbro was, but Hasbro Image Skybound is, you know, kind of, I've heard, you know, that, you know, he has to play within the rules. He didn't have the total freedom that he did with IDW run. But anyway, so this is iconic book. Now, they did release the director's cut with the same cover as in the Marvel one, but I opted for this one just because it's the Cobra and it has a Hiss tank on it. I thought that was pretty cool, and yeah, it is definitely worth getting. It's still out there, available in newsstands. So if you're able to find this and you know you don't want to shell out all that money, I would actually go with the IDW. They did a one-shot of that. They reprinted Lady Doomsday several times. So look for the IDW and then get this one to compare the two. This got a 9.4, and I like it. I mean, of course, the artwork inside is done by another legend that doesn't get the rightful attention, Hulk 181, 180 illustrator Herb Trimpe. And I'm just glad to see it. You know, once again, I must have like 10 of these issues, but every time I get that same sense of joy. So the director's cut with the Cobra variant cover, G.I. Joe issue number 1. Okay, so our next book is a repeat offender. We've picked this book for the second time, and I thought I was going to get a bump in the grade. And in May's unboxing episode, I talked about the ups and downs of buying online, whether it be eBay or Facebook Marketplace. It literally is a gamble versus going to your LCS or going to somebody that you know and physically looking at the book. I find that fun because I like to gamble. But anyway, I thought this would be a bump in the grade when in fact it wasn't. And I'm talking about Amazing Spider-Man number 317. This is the second cover appearance of Venom. And this, of course, is a Todd McFarlane cover. I love this cover. I think this is pretty damn cool. But 317 doesn't get the type of love that issue number 316 gets. Now, this is from a previous unboxing. This is issue 316, and it's the newsstand variant. It got a 6.0, but as my regulars know, I prefer the newsstands because I used to ride my bike to the local 7-Eleven that was a few blocks away, pick up a comic book and a Slurpee, and ride back. So this harkens back, and I remember picking up this book. So this harkens back to those simpler times. So that's why I target newsstand, and I will sacrifice a 9.8 or whatever to get a newsstand that is a lower grade, because I think, to me, as a Gen Xer, you know, a fan, I like the little bit of wear on a book. I think it shows character. And I think that, in due time, there's going to be such a cap on 9.8s and whatever, that these other books will be increasing, because people don't take the time to grade them. And I think that's the fault, is that when people many years from now are looking for 316 or 317 and find a whole bunch of 9.8s and not that many in the lower grades, I mean, those prices are going to actually be increasing. So it's advantageous. And this is simple economics. So it's advantageous to get iconic books, even though if they're a lower grade, graded, And that's the case with this one. And I've been saying for the longest time, and the real value, the real fun is targeting those seconds and even thirds, because there is more room for growth in those. And I'm talking, again, I'm putting on my auditor hat and telling you that there is more room for growth and more fun hunting those versus getting 316, and spending a whole bunch of coin today, when you could get it for less at a lower grade, and then down the road it'll be worth significantly more. I just love this cover. I think it kind of, if you remember in the 90s Amazing Spider-Man intro, that's what this is. It kind of like harkens back to that. And I think they use that for that brief flash in the introduction of Spider-Man at the very end, before the title pops up, of Venom devouring Spider-Man. But this came out at a 7.5, which is still respectable. It looks, see, that's the thing. I think it's interior. I have to look inside, but look at the clean and press job that PGX did. It is so damn good that, I mean, you have a tick mark here, and I think it's because of the edging at the end. So it's the way the book came from the press that kind of did this one in, but still, it is beautiful. I mean, the other one I have is a 9. So, maybe I'll pass this along to another collector, or maybe I'll sell the 9. You have that flexibility, and, of course, percentage of all my sales goes to the local non-kill animal shelter, just because it means a lot to me. Helped me with my PTSD. So I owe a lot to the little black cat that I think saved my life during a difficult time. Anyway, so I think this is a great job. Again, the clean and press service that PGX does is second to none. While there are independent ones out there, I think you'd be wise to hire them for, let's say, early Spider-Man, early Avengers, Golden Age books. But for normal comics, you can't go wrong with the PGX's clean and press service. I've used them so many times, and it's like a foregone conclusion. Danny and his team, Colette, can't thank them enough for the amazing job they do. So, Amazing Spider-Man 317, second cover appearance of Venom. Okay, so our next book is going to be interesting and hilarious at the same time. I just found the book so appealing that I had to buy it, and I buy it from this guy who I featured a lot of these books from, and he lives in Port St. Lucie, which is a few towns south of me. And when I saw this one, I had to pick it up, just because of the character it has. I'm talking about Avengers number 23. Do you see anything wrong with it? Let me bring it closer. Obviously, this is a restored comic book of an early Avengers 23. So this is coming at the end of the second year of the Avengers. And you have John Romita's first Silver Age artwork. That's another reason why I picked this up. And it's so funny. Stan Lee does the story, John Romita does the art. Jack Kirby and John Romita supposedly did the art together. You're talking about two heavy, iconic legends working on one cover. That is freaking amazing. But the fact that some kid or whoever tried to, if you see at the top, draw the remaining and then fill in the Avengers because the book, I guess, had a tear to it. So I just thought that was hilarious. It is obviously a restored grade, and it got a 2.5, which is pretty freaking awesome for a restored book. I mean, you see this book got loved, man, and I love this. I think this is awesome. This is what the hobby is about, in my assessment. This is great, and I love the cover of, I think this is Kang. So it's pretty cool, man. You got the Avengers team here. It checks all the boxes. I never thought I'd say that one book would check off of my, this has nothing to do with the monetary aspect whatsoever. This is pure fun, and I think it was fun to find this book. And the guy said, who sold it to me, he's like, I knew you'd get this one. This is like right up your alley. But again, getting a low Avengers run at 2.5 is nothing to sneeze at. And with all of the important people that were a part of this one book, I think you couldn't pass. And a 2.5 is a proud 2.5. So Avengers number 29 from 1965. Alrighty, so remember what I said in the beginning. This is probably going to be the greatest unboxing episode ever for anybody. So the next book with that statement is going to be Batman number 222. Now, last time we looked at number 242, which is I think second Ra's al Ghul, or it's an iconic Neil Adams cover. This is another iconic Neil Adams cover, and it features the freaking Beatles. If you look at it, I mean, the whole Paul is Dead is played out in this cover. I think this is awesome. And I saw this book, I was like, I gotta get it. Now, I didn't know that, sadly, well, not sadly, I mean, I just didn't know. I got a restored grade on this. You want to know why? I bet it's the same fucking kid. But anyway, if you look here, the comics code seal has been markered out. So that dinged this book. But still, a 6.0 Neil Adams Beatles issue is freaking awesome. This book has been, like the other one I showcased earlier, the last month's unboxing, these Neil Adams 70s Batman covers are, after his passing, which is still hits the comic community pretty hard, is nothing to sneeze at. These are wonderful covers. If anything, it makes you appreciate Neil Adams so much more, because I think, and I've said this many times, these modern comic kiddos have put so much on Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld. There were other people before them. There were other people that inspired them. And Neil Adams, along with Herb Trimpe, John Byrne, all of these guys, especially in that post Stan Lee, John Romita Sr., just that middle gap between the 90s rock stars and the the foundation of Marvel, so to speak, because they don't get the Gen X era, I should say. The Gen X, like the writers and artists that we grew up with, seem to not get the proper respect and attention they so rightfully deserve by today's comic community. I think that's a travesty. And that's why I started this fucking channel, is because I'm like, no, Larry Hama should be on the Mount Rushmore. Herb Trimpe should also be on the Mount Rushmore. John Byrne should be on the Mount. Neil Adams, he should be up there. So I'm glad to have this opportunity. And what do you think about this cover? Do you think, look it up, see the value of this book, Yes, it's restored, but who gives a fuck? I have the actual book in my hand I have a piece of Neil Adams' iconic artwork that I'm holding. That's what this hobby is about. So Batman number 222. All right, so our next book again, is another iconic cover, and one of the covers that it's one of my favorite Silver Surfer covers, and that should give it away right away. And that is Silver Surfer #4, the iconic Silver Surfer versus Thor, with the John Buscema cover. You know, it's funny. There's an investment called Rally where you could actually buy shares of things like iconic comic books like Hulk 181. You could buy like the Declaration of like, because there in American history there was actually 3 original Declaration of Independence. The first one, of course, is uh, in the National Archives, and then there's one that's in a private collector's because they had to go to all the territories. Anyway, the point is, I have 3 shares of the Declaration of Independence, one of the original ones. The same thing with this. I actually have 2 shares of this comic book, the real one. This is the masterpiece, fantasy masterpiece collection, the first reprint of this, and this one is actually picking up quite a bit of steam. So I would definitely target this. If you're not going to get the original, this is definitely one to get. And people have been sleeping on this for the longest time, and people were able to pick this up $20, whatever. Now it's, or $10 or less. But now it is starting to pick up steam because of that. The original one is, getting up there in value. A lot of people have been picking this because it is a copy for copy verbatim of that issue, just like all the other facsimiles that I've talked about. But it was part of that fantasy masterpiece collection. So I definitely highly recommend. This looks absolutely stunning. It looks, 8.5 again, and PGX is a clean and press service. Black covers are notorious. This book is notorious for getting low grades, regardless if it's the masterpiece or the original one. It does not clean and press. It has a lot of issues with it, but getting an 8.5 on this book is absolutely amazing. And of course, it's the newsstand variant of this. So this is a win-win-win, and I love it. I love having iconic books. I don't give a rat's ass if it's the original. I mean, obviously you would love to have it, but at the same time, when you have friends or whatever, you're filming videos, you see this and you appreciate the book for what it is, an amazing piece of art. I don't see dollar signs like these modern comic kiddos, but I nonetheless, that's what this hobby is all about. This is such a wonderful cover, and I am so glad to get it. And of course, in the back is Star Trek, the motion picture. Wow. So I guess the back is different because the original wouldn't have that. Anyway, but the point is that the front looks absolutely amazing. So I am so glad to have Silver Surfer, masterpiece of Silver Surfer #4. Alrighty, so for our next book, we're going to take it down a notch, but we're still turning the heat really up. And if you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. The next book we're going to take a look at is the Power Girl Special #1. And I think this is absolutely breathtaking. This is the Art Gem cover, and Art Gem has been, he had the Punchline cover, Punchline's first full cover appearance. I think that is definitely amazing. A lot of his artwork is absolutely amazing. The fact that it is Power Girl, then there are 2 reasons why to like Power Girl. She doesn't hide it; it's front and center. But I just think this is so beautifully done. I mean, you got the jets in the background. I know everybody's focusing there, but look around it, man. It is a wonderful piece of artwork. Everything in this, I mean, I just like how the light is touching on, I'm not trying to be pervy, but I'm just saying the light touches her leg and stuff. It's just wonderfully done. And like, you know, the smile, the confetti coming down, it's like a celebration of Power Girl. And I think this is really, really well done. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. This is definitely one that I picked up. And then ironically, there's advertisement for The Flash. I thought that Supergirl was pretty good. I really enjoyed her character. I wish they expanded more about it, but you know that was a big flop. You know, it was sad to see Michael Keaton's return as Batman pissed away, and that's the tragedy. Not that Ezra, what's his name, Ezra Miller. Fuck him, you know. But going back to this is a wonderful cover. In our recent pickup episode, because to the people who are watching this, we do monthly pickup episodes where, you know, I go through the books that I picked up that may be of interest to other fellow Gen Xers. We talk about it. A lot of people get to chime in on their history, because I don't just stick with new titles. I do a lot of back issues as well, and it's fun. So during our last pickup episode, we featured another Power Girl cover. This is Power Girl issue number 7. And I thought this was another great cover of Power Girl. This is also celebrating Women's History Month. So I thought this was well done. And of course, my favorite Power Girl cover, and it's a shame I didn't get this one graded yet, is the Adam Hughes Power Girl number 2. I always thought this was a wonderful cover, and it has Adam, like right away, you know it's Adam Hughes. So I've always loved this cover. I need to get this book graded, but I'm definitely going to send this one in to keep my Power Girl graded comics. But again, this is just wonderful. And again, this is 2023. This is going to be 2024. So, you know, there's some good modern stuff coming out there. I mean, the book inside, the content, so the story is absolutely shit, but the cover is really good. So I really like this cover, and I think 9.4, hey, that's not too shabby. So I like that. So Power Girl special issue number 1. All right, so our next book is the book that all these modern comic kiddos like lose their mind over for some reason. And every Gen Xer says that the book before it is the real first appearance. And I did a little bit of a short about this. And I'm talking about Hulk 181, the first appearance of Wolverine. Obviously, this is the facsimile. My regulars could test. I love these facsimiles. I think it is an excellent way to get these iconic books and have them on display, to appreciate their artwork, which is what it's really all about. Yeah, you know, the funny thing is, even this facsimile is commanding around $15 to $20, which is, you know, pretty cool. But at the same time, the most important thing is having this iconic book. Now, going back to what I said, many Gen Xers, you know, who were around that time, sorry, modern comic kiddos, will say that Hulk 180 is the first appearance of Wolverine, because in the back, and this is what you could do with these, and what you can't do with the original. You could open it up, pull it out, and without a care in the world, flip to the page and question it. And there you go. 180. It says he talks, he says his name, he has a full panel devoted to him. So that would mean that's his first appearance, you know, by definition. But it is not on the cover, and it is one panel. Your mileage may vary. I mean, who gives a shit? But the fact is, Hulk 180 and 181 are 2 amazing books. And again, the artist, the cover, Herb Trimpe. And these modern comics that put this book on a pedestal seem to always forget about that. Len Wein is the writer, and we know that he is he's the father, where Chris Claremont kind of was the stepfather, but he took it, Claremont ran with it. And I mean, he brought it and Claremont ran. I think those two are really, really kind of what we're seeing now in X-Men 97. Those two men are responsible for us enjoying X-Men 97 in 2024. But again, I love I got a 9.8, guys, a 9.8 Hulk 181. So hey, there you go. I just think it's pretty cool. I love, and again, this book has been meticulously dissected. I mean, to the errors, the touches that distinguish this from reprints, so to speak. And I don't know them, but I just think that it's cool to have this book. When I showed my friends, especially my high school, a few of my high school friends, I'm friends with Bill Duff. You may have known him on the A&E series, The Human Weapon. He played football at University of Tennessee with Peyton Manning. He went off to WCW's Power Plant, and he also played in NFL Europe. Anyway, Bill's a big comic book fan, and it's funny, when we used to wrestle, he used to come out to wear a Punisher t-shirt, and in all of New Jersey, they were scared shitless of this. And he's huge. He's like 6'6", and he runs like a gazelle. He runs a 4.6 40 back in the day. Anyway, he thought this was cool. He's like, oh man, you can't believe you got that. So, it's cool in that purpose. And I think that it's just nice. Put it on the mantle, give it as a gift even. I mean, that's why I think these facsimiles make great gifts to nephews and nieces everywhere. And I have done that. I've gifted a lot of these facsimiles books because I want to encourage the youth to get, it does teach us investing. It does teach how to take care of things, how to plan, as well as the enjoying it, collecting things. So Hulk 181, the facsimile edition. All right, so I guess I'm in the facsimile block of this episode, but our next book is going to be Amazing Spider-Man number 121. This is the beginning of the end of Gwen Stacy. So I always thought that I just love John Romita Sr. I love Jr. too, but John Romita's Spider-Man is my definition of Spider-Man, not Ditko. Ditko's was a little, I never really liked Steve Ditko's depiction of Spider-Man. Of course, people like Mark Bagley is one of them, but to me, a lot of GenXers, John Romita Sr. Spider-Man is the quintessence Spider-Man of all time. So, again, this got a 9.2, believe it or not. Wow. So, this is definitely a gift candidate. So I think this is great. I love the back. I mean, look at that. White as white can be. That is crazy. So I think this is definitely a good pickup and an excellent book. And I'm starting to target some under 100 Spider-Man. I think I picked up the first with the guy that vanishes, Mysterio. I picked up, I think, 48. Is that it? Amazing Spider-Man 48. It's a lower grade, but I bought it from the same guy, so hopefully there's no restorations to it. But I had a chance to pick up that, and I definitely picked it up over this weekend. So that is on its way here. So anyway, Amazing Spider-Man 121, the facsimile edition. So we're just going to jump into the next one. Now, we just talked about Hulk 181, mentioned about, we just got finished wrapping up X-Men 97. This is another book. It's still attainable. I think $1,000 is not, it's up there, but not up there, so a good copy of it. But anyway, $1,000 or so. But anyway, X-Men number 101. Remember, it's the all new, all different X-Men. Uncanny has yet to come on to the title right there, but this is, of course, the birth of the Phoenix Saga, Enter the Phoenix. So again, will we see it at all in the MCU after it's been done twice? I don't think so, but still, that's what makes this book amazing. It has appeared on the trending list of cover price and key collectors already post X-Men 97. There's no hint about the Phoenix thing. They already covered it in X-Men, the cartoon series. So that's already been done with. So, and we saw the Phoenix kind of manifest when Cable, spoiler alert, when Cable was going after Jean Grey, and the motherly instinct of Jean Grey and the Phoenix itself kind of saved the day, so to speak. But again, this is another iconic, and it's a great book to read prior to getting it graded. So this is another excellent gift idea, or just to have to showcase. But 9.4, I mean, that is, that's the thing. Another thing is, you're never guaranteed. Even if you buy right off the shelf and you don't flip it, you're not guaranteed a 9.8. It is, a 9.4 is excellent. It's definitely a great grade. But these people that expect to get 9.8s right off the shelf, that's being delusional. So with that, we're going to go to our final book. And like always, I end with the home run. And I think the funny thing is, I mentioned about that investment thing called Rally, where besides stocks and stuff, I do buy, like I talked about, the Constitution. I think another thing I got is a Megalodon jaw. So I have 2 shares of a real entire Megalodon jaw. And I think it's up at $30 a share now. So what happens is, if a private person buys it, they pay out the dividends. And that's what happened with this next book. I bought 2 shares of it at the time, and when it sold to a private buyer, I got a payout, and my payout was probably about $30 a share. So my initial buy-in was probably around $12. So I doubled my money. It's fun, but I'm talking about none other than Batman #1. I picked up several copies of this. I gave one to my brother, and this one I kept for myself. I got 9.4, and I think it goes great with the Superman facsimile I have outside, as well as the Amazing Spider-Man issue #1 outside. That's also a facsimile. These books catch eyes when you have guests over. Who gives a shit if it's a facsimile? It's amazing when you see people come in the house, whether it be people you hire to fix the toilet or what have you, even guests. They always do a double take when they come out into the house, and I have these kind of like in the hallway in the front door. And they're like, first they're shocked what they see. They can't believe it. And then the second, they're like, why would you have that out in the open? But then they realize, as they get closer, that it's the facsimile edition. Nonetheless, this book has so much historical impact to it. Besides, his first appearance in Detective Comics, then Robin's first appearance. So to have this also is a lot of firsts. It's the first Catwoman, the first Joker. There's a lot of first appearances in this issue that are iconic. So to have this, even if it's a facsimile, is definitely amazing. And that's why I say don't slouch on it. 2 second, third appearances, and number 3 is these facsimiles. Oh, here's the back. Look at that. It is a carbon copy of that iconic book. So it's cool to have this. Anyway, this is Shabu RU. Thank you for joining me on our monthly graded unbox. So what do you think? Is this the greatest unboxing episode? I mean, you can't get any more bigger than Hulk 181 and Batman issue #1 all in the same pull. So that's pretty amazing by itself. Who gives a shit, if they're reprints? It's just fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Our next episode will be a comic book pickup as I go to our other sponsor, Famous Faces, and see what they have in store for me. Thanks for watching. If you're new, please hit like and subscribe, and also feel free to comment. I think we have a great bunch of regulars that always chime in. I love looking forward to hearing their takes on stuff. I'm a learner just as much as I'm a presenter. So I think that's what makes this channel unique, is that there's no hang-ups. There's no pushing things. I'm not quitting my job to be a YouTuber. That's bullshit. I still work. I still pay a mortgage. And I'm happy to do this in my free time. Anyway, hope to see you in the next episode. Have a good one.